It's possible we should just be in table 1.
It's possible. I wanted to be in the large table in
Or table 2,
case
rather.
we brought McGuffin and Ash both in to chat afterwards.
That's smart. That's smart.
The stream is
Alright,
live,
well,
by the
let's hope
way.
no
We're
one
up.
decides to troll us.
Yeah, if anyone decides to troll us, we'll boot him from the server.
A appropriate response. Right? Things look live. There is, no one in chat yet.
Ivy's here. The users feature doesn't work, but I see one person.
Okay, now there's 6 people here. Alright, it looks like it's starting.
Yeah.
So we're here at the GP finals. We have Ash on Casino Scam versus McGuffin on Heggy Breggfegg, or Hearty Breakfast, depending on who you ask. Both these players have had really incredible runs through the Swiss and now the top 8, and I'm really excited to see how this shapes up.
Yeah, let's start by commenting on just how hideous this hand is. Look at all these frames. Map frame, fetch
Good
lands,
lord.
and triple masterpiece.
McGuffin didn't even get these masterpieces.
Yeah, right?
Disgusting.
You gotta work.
Have some respect. So the main thing to know about this matchup is Ash is the control deck, but also at the same time has a kill condition that McGuffin can't really reasonably interact with.
Yeah.
So McGuffin just has to hope to outlinear Ash, which is kind of a mixed bag based on the interaction that Ash has access to.
Does McGuffin have any discard in the sideboard?
Yes, has a couple copies of Duress and has a Sidraxis Trepanator.
Sure.
Post board, Ash gets to pick up some
Oh,
Memento Moris, which are kind of nice.
thanks, Gate.
So, McGuffin mulliganing to 6 here. Ash keeps a 7, but Duress is basically off in this matchup, so I hope we don't see that cast turn 1. I would definitely advocate for going turn 1 Murmuring Falls Pass and hope to exeunt your opponent. But especially if you don't know the matchup that well, leading with Duress makes sense. It just doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
But I guess you know what your opponent has, so that's not bad.
Yeah, this is basically just 1 mana, 1 life, perfect information. It's the Gitaxian probe effect, more or less.
Although it does cost you a card.
It costs you a card in this situation, yeah.
Yeah. And drawing the Miner's Barracks off the top is actually really scary here, because Ash doesn't know it's coming,
That's right.
and that means McGuffin has the turn 3 kill. Which means I assume we'll see McGuffin leading with the Tide Hollow Lich, since it's the most durable piece here, and the next turn can potentially go Vault Keeper plus Tide Hollow Lich.
Yeah, so let's look at Tide Hollow Lich, not Grim Bastion. This one. Can cast it from your graveyard as long as you control an artifact creature. Vault Keeper itself is an artifact creature, so that's how you loop, right?
Yep. So I think if you're Asher, you want to Prying Inquiry to tag the Autumnal Watch you saw out of your opponent.
Uh-huh. And now you're going to see the Miner's Barracks.
And you take that motherfucker instantly.
Uh-huh.
Assuming, again, I guess taking the Autumnal Watch is equally fine, because Autumnal Watch is the sack outlet here. So I think actually taking Autumnal Watch might be a technically better line here, because it's the thing that can grind you out. It's easy to snap pick Miner's Barracks, but Miner's Barracks is a combo piece that's dead unless you're comboing. So, yeah. It's reasonable to take the Miner's Barracks, because the deck has a lot less redundancy on that half of the combo, whereas it has a lot more tutors to find sack outlets.
Yeah. In general, I like taking the Miner's Barracks there, because I think Ash is probably playing to win before the game starts to get grindy, but...
That's fair.
I think both are very defensible.
The other thing is we can see an Ombradew Goliath come down fairly soon, which will probably eat an immediate fair trial.
Yeah, I assume so.
Interesting to lead with the Vault Keeper there. I guess there's no real difference. Your opponent's tapped out, but...
Yeah, it doesn't really make a difference. So this is when an artifact dies. Another artifact.
So it's a little bit awkward here, because you really do want to consult the Dewdrops shortly, so you can find a basic and stop dying to your own lands.
Yeah, but there's no way to not cast Fair Trial this turn, I think.
Yeah, I think if you risk just dying, So,
Yeah.
generally advise not dying. Big fan.
It's minorly awkward that you don't get to leave up Exeunt there, but you're not casting it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't cast Exeunt as long as this Tidehall Lich is on the board. And unfortunately, this Autumnal Watch is about to come down and stop you from being able to reasonably answer the Tidehall Lich ever.
Yeah. This is an interesting matchup. I don't actually know which side I think is favored.
I think there's a lot of circumstances under which Ashe is favored here. I think the duress weirdly hurt her a lot, because if she had had the ability to turn 1 answer the Tidehall Lich at mana parity, and then turn 2 could have Prying Inquiry or consulted Dewdrops or whatever, I think she would be in a lot better of a spot this game.
Maybe. It does get a little awkward that the Vault Keeper was in hand, so Tidehall Lich was always coming back at some point.
Yeah. I imagine we'll see this be cast. There technically is an option of cast the Tidehall Lich and fish to find another good 1-drop, but I think this is just too good to pass up. And I think if you're in McGuffin seat, you want to take the Consulted Dewdrops here, since it's what will allow Ashe to string together the necessary combo pieces.
Gateways is pronounced Exeunt. It's technically 3 syllables. It's
Exeunt, yeah.
Too hard to say the 3rd syllable, so.
It's Latin.
Thanks, Gate. Did I mark this stream as 18 plus?
Again? So your opponent's representing 4, 5, 6, 7 damage on board right now, which is kind of awkward. I think we're going to see Ashe hope to Exeunt while Tidehall Lich is in the graveyard, which is a good line.
Yeah, I agree.
But I suspect the damage is done, unfortunately. Like, I'm not sure what the line to assemble a win from here looks like. So.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm thinking about what it would be. I don't know, it probably involves removal spell into removal spell, and assuming that McGuffin just continues to brick. Not a particularly reasonable line.
I think you definitely want to start by attacking, though. Like, you don't have any haste granters. No matter what, you want to get those 4 points in.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
And again, if you're Ashe here, you just need to sit. It sucks, but you don't have better lines.
While McGuffin's thinking, let's appreciate Ashe's choice of basics. These are great.
So true. Actually, if McGuffin, if there wasn't this Exeunt, McGuffin actually has lethal from shocking in a land and just looping Tidehall Lich 4 times. Why on earth would you make that play? What's the logic?
Yeah, that seems loose.
Like, you're just giving your opponent more time to draw buy time, and somehow, like, whoops you out of this game. Like, it's not going to get punished right now, but, like, that's frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, the game just ends here, right?
Yeah, and on Ashe's side, you should have played out that Dead Man's Party unless you're trying to bluff buy time, but it's not like your opponent plays around buy time.
Yeah,
like,
well, the reason not to play Dead Man's here is that you only have the 1 black. But
oh, I'm sorry. I thought the Crystal Cavern was another Murmuring Falls. My bad.
Yeah, again, it's irrelevant. You don't have enough life to mess with this.
Yeah, you go down to 1, post-combat, we replay the Tidehall of Sculler, or Tidehall Lich, rather.
You can even do the flashy lead with Corvid Heretic, and then...
Yeah. So post-board, things develop, which is kind of a stupid thing to say, but so McGuffin gets to bring in, let's see, we get to see a Straxus Trepanator come in, we get to see Seal the Tombs, maybe a Corpse Bed, some Duresses, we probably see the Pith Wilts leave, the Volatile Stonework gets out of here, the Cradle of Corruption probably swaps for the Corpse Bed if you're bringing that. Actually, no, Corpse Bed's useless in this matchup, like, because Ashe isn't worried about grinding here. This is not a Dead Man's Party superstar matchup.
No.
This is definitely a Deathless Siege, a Memento Mori matchup, possibly a Seal the Tomb, depending on what you're fiddling. Like, I think you're so scared of the Tidehall Lich and the Departed Evangel that Seal the Tomb is a reasonable card to include. And I would probably want to board the Ignition Ritual, but that's a lot of cards in for not a lot of cards that can come out. So, I'm not certain on the exact details, but I think this is a matchup where you want to just try to outlinear your opponent.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like you cut the backup win conditions, or at the very least the Monument of Queens, because if your opponent answers your combo kill, you're not winning this game.
Mm-hmm.
So just go for broke.
Hersey points out that going for the sack does mean you know there's an Exeunt coming that kills either your sack effect or your ability to recur your Tide Hollow Lich, which is fair.
I mean, you also don't know what you're going to exile off the top there.
Yeah, that's true. But if you hit a land,
it's such a low cost play that, like, I don't know. I think
given that
it is worth it to do.
Given you have lethal on the next turn.
So the question is whether you are more scared of your opponent drawing a combo piece, or versus you flipping that off the top. I guess the second one's more likely than the first one, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. All right. So Ash is on the play and mulliganed. So this is a pretty ugly 6, but Consult can do a lot of work. Oh right, Garth in the sideboard.
And I agree with. I would have wanted to replace a Monument. I guess keeping the Monument Queens in your deck. So we did see the Seal of Tomb come in. Garth is neat. McGuffin left in the Volatile Stonework, which will pay off here, but I think is generally kind of troll.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think we'll see a Departed Evangel turn 1, set up for the Egg of Avarice to find a tutor piece, to find a comp piece. Miner's Barracks try to get the turn 3 kill. So there's a Seal of Tomb sitting around, which will stop a Tide Hollow, which will stop one of the 2 combo piece based loops, but it doesn't stop both of them.
Yeah.
So that's concerning. Yeah, I mean, you play at the Wayfarer Shrine, you can consult the 2 drops on end step, you have Seal of the Tomb. Fetching right now is interesting. No, I don't think it's interesting, I think it's just wrong.
Yeah, even after my last match of watching Ash, I think that their fetching strategies are a little suspect. I don't know why you do this.
I guess if you don't want to draw more lands, but I think locking you into now this Magmatic Torrent has to find a red land is kind of awkward.
Yeah, agreed. It's just unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
Ivy, you missed McGuffin win game 1 by attacking with 1-drops.
One thing I will say about McGuffin's deck is the fair beatdown plan of it is just really effective, and that's one of the reasons this deck is really successful. Like, yes, it can Splinter Twin turn 3 you, but it can also just, like, here's all these recursive idiots and an Imp Den Mother behind them.
Yeah. Sometimes you just play 2 2/2s for 1 and then kill your opponent in a couple of turns.
I feel like I'd want to activate the Egg of Avarice here, just because you're really sad if your opponent kills the Departed Veil.
Yeah, so I agree.
This finds, like, Autumnal Watch, probably.
You might even find another Departed Evangel. Watching McGuffin play, I know that he likes picking up multiple Evangels.
Mm-hmm. I think it's less necessary because you have the Tide Hollow Lich in hand, so you have the loop otherwise locked up.
Yeah, I definitely think it's less necessary, but
I get I get what you're suggesting.
Corvid Heretic.
That's setting up for the kill next turn.
Yeah.
And Seal the Tomb here is fine. I definitely would have wanted to use the Consult the Dewdrops to be a bit more mana efficient.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you just all you need to do is seal before your opponent's next main phase, and also you probably want to seal during your opponent's draw step, so they risk drawing dead copies of Departed Evangel.
Yeah, theoretically, you don't even need to seal until they activate some ability that would... Oh, no, I guess... Well, no, with Egg's ability on the stack, you could seal the...
You could. But... You just want to avoid doing that, ideally. Like, giving your opponent the extra card of being able to play the Departed Evangel again is a little bit risky. Oh, in terms of how McGuffin said, where we saw the Seal of Tombs come in, the Duresses come in, the... I don't see any trepanation going on. That's unfortunate.
No.
And the Cradle of Corruption stayed in. Interesting.
Yeah, but mostly expected.
Yeah. So you need to consult the Dewdrops now and hope to find interaction for this combo. Because if you don't, you're dead.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to fetch with this Magmatic Torrent, or have played it, because now, if you find an Exeunt, and I don't think you want to fetch another Black Source.
No, you definitely don't want to fetch another Black Source. But I guess theoretically you don't know the combo's coming. You should expect
Well,
it because of the Corvid
you just say that hand. You saw the hand because of the Seal the Tomb.
Oh, right.
So you do
Seal
know
sees
the
the hands.
coming.
Yeah.
So Ash is going to pass with Consult the Dewdrops up and hope to do the thing.
Hope to get lucky, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, either way, you're hoping to get lucky, right? Like, there's not... This game suddenly became about, oops, can I get there?
Yeah.
I might be miscounting, though. Like, I think from this hand you have Lethal, because you cast Miner's Barracks.
Yep.
You have 1 mana. You cast Tidal Lich, you still have 1 mana. You cast Volatile Stonework, you still have 1 mana. Then you sacrifice the Tidal Lich. You find Autumnal Watch. Then you cast Tidal Lich from your graveyard. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
This is lethal, so we're just going to see if McGuffin's going to try to play around things. And to be fair, I don't think it costs McGuffin that much to play around things. But on the other hand, it doesn't cost you that much to go for it. So I'm not sure where it would end up.
Yeah, the only counter spells that Ash has in the sideboard are the Thought Blossoms, right? Which doesn't interact with this at all. So I feel like there's no harm in just going for it.
So there's still a Crystal Wave. There's still 4 copies of Exeunt.
A Crystal Wave.
Those are the 5 cards in question in terms of being able to interact here. Oh, also, and the another Seal the Tomb from the board, probably the Memento Moris, one could hope. So there's potentially 3, 7, there's potentially 8 cards that blow you out here.
Yeah, I just feel like if you go for it and something does blow you out, it's not really that big of a blowout, because, like...
No, you'll still have a board state, you'll still have the Miner's Barracks, you'll still have the Imp Den Mother.
Yeah, like... Worst case scenario here is you just...
Does McGuffin not have red?
McGuffin just...
Okay,
yeah.
1 land. So, yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah. Again, even though this is at Comp Ariel, even at Comp Ariel, if you realize you've made a mistake, and you notice it before anyone else does, and it's specifically a mistake about, like, I chose the wrong thing, and no time has passed, no information has been gained, etc., you can do a take-back seize as the official term.
Yeah. More or less what just happened is McGuffin revealed that Fungalmire is still in the main deck.
Hasn't boarded out the Fungalmires, hasn't drawn the Fungalmires. Yep.
I think... Well, okay. I personally think that you should have fetched a blue-red land and then cast Consult off of that in the island.
Yeah, that's fair. I suspect that's rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Oh, wait, actually, no, there's a reason to not do that, which is you just scryed something to the bottom of your library.
I guess, but the only way...
found the Seal the Tomb.
The only way that you don't just die to this combo is if you have a 1-mana interaction spell, so you'd have to fetch to shuffle anyways.
Sure, but you fetch a shuffle after you've looked at the 4 cards. If you've bottomed a card you don't like, getting to look at 4 cards before you shuffle is better.
I guess that's true.
Oh, this is a brutal blowout. By some metrics, a blowout. I think McGuffin should have actually led with the Volatile Stonework, because then the Miner's Barracks would have paid for it. Now, you can seal in response. I mean, there's nothing to seal out of your opponent's graveyard, so you should seal your seal, so you get the scry at least.
Well, you can...
And deny your opponent the scry.
It's other than a basic land card, so you can take a fetch with it.
That seems decidedly less worse than getting a scry and just denying your opponent a scry.
Yeah, denying your opponent the scry is probably the more exciting part.
Yeah. So, we'll see if Ash sees the line. It's a stupid line. The other thing is it means that if you did keep in Dead Man's Party, your seal, you can pick up the Seal the Tomb down the line.
Yeah, that's true.
Something to think... Yep, Ash saw the line. That's a classic canon Magic line with surgical extractions in combo decks.
Yeah.
Surgical extraction, my thing that you're targeting so that you can't finish surgicaling me. Which doesn't matter here because there's not a third Seal the Tomb in the deck somewhere, but, you know, one of those lines that you learn once and never forget.
Yeah, Dodger and Hersey combined to point out that sealing your own seal both stops your opponent from scrying and means you keep some seals in your deck.
Yeah, except there's only these 2 Seal the Tombs.
Well, yeah.
Otherwise, I would have mentioned it.
It means you keep this one in your graveyard for the Dead Man's Party, which is what you said.
Yeah. 6 of one, half dozen the other.
Yeah, hey Rosley. These decks are both combo decks that have managed to bubble their way to the top. McGuffin's got here not so much on the back of the combo, but on the back of just being kind of a strong, recursive, hard to interact with pile of 1-drops that sometimes combos you out.
On turn 3.
On turn 3.
Whereas Ash's deck is like a kind of dedicated combo control deck where it's just trying to hit 4 or 5 lands and then draw its entire deck and kill you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. McGuffin's seal fizzles because there is nothing for it to exile anymore. Its target is no longer in the graveyard. We watched Ash put Flooded Depths on the bottom of their library.
Yeah, that's a card I wouldn't want.
Yeah.
Can't agree with that. Okay, so you've dodged the combo kill for a turn because that took the last bit of McGuffin's mana. But you do know that there's still a, Imp Den Mother, Tidehall Lich, Volatile Stonework, kill you line.
Yeah, McGuffin
Now you need to last passage. Try to draw into something.
McGuffin chose not to attack and get the 1 point in.
Don't think that's going to come back to bite him. I don't think Ash has cards. Oh, actually, no. Memento Mori keeps you in this game. So, you don't want to start digging until you see the combo in play.
Yeah.
And the second Tidehole, which means Memento Mori does not keep you in this game.
That is true?
Yeah, because McGuffin always has the ability to keep so close.
You hate to see that.
Definitely start discarding that Wayfarer Shrine.
Mm-hmm.
So now you cast this Imp Den Mother. Interesting. Why would you cast the second Tidehall Lich?
I'm not sure. I guess it's mana neutral, but
it doesn't feel like it really matters any particular way.
Yeah.
What are you gonna Egg of Avarice for? I was about to say, is there 1 mana hand attack? And I was like, man, I am so glad McGuffin's deck does not get to play with Unmasker. That just gave me like a minor heart attack to think about.
Yeah, that would be disgusting. Alright, so I'm guessing McGuffin's just gonna go get the Autumnal Watch.
Yeah. This Exeunt doesn't do anything.
Yeah, because if somehow Ash interacts with this, you still have Imp Den, Volatile Stonework, and then continue to combo off with Tide Hollow Lich.
Right. And you can cast the Tidehall Lich from your graveyard right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to lose this. Please demonstrate. A reasonable thing.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, Dodger, this is game over.
There's a very classic story of someone in the old days of Modern playing in a tournament with Twin, and somewhere in round 3, one of his opponents doesn't scoop to Twin, and he has to scoop because he doesn't actually know what the combo does. His friend just told him, here's this deck, play it, you get this enchantment on this creature, and you win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And up until that point, anytime he'd gotten the enchantment on the creature, the person just scooped. So, reasonable to do that, but McGuffin with a very, very convincing route to the Grand Prix victor.
Yeah.
So, big congrats to McGuffin.
Yeah, that was... that just showed both angles of the deck, right? The one where you just play a bunch of 1-drops that your opponent can't meaningfully interact with and attack until your opponent's dead, and then also combo kill you turn 3. And I guess this is technically turn 4, but...
Yeah.
Turn 4 through a boatload of interactive pieces, too, which is exciting. Well, that was a nice, quick set. Do you want to see if we can get McGuffin in here to chat a little bit?
Sounds good.
All right.
And yeah, I agree with the assessment that this deck does not exist after this GP.
Yes.
Which, honestly, kind of good riddance. Huge props to McGuffin for building and piloting the deck, but it generates gameplay that I think is kind of antithetical to some of the ideals of MSEM.
Yeah, I fully agree. Not to mention the Silent Wanderer version that can T2. Yeah, we don't talk about that. Yeah, Caillou, I think Miner's Barracks is the kind of card that just goes a little invisible when people are playing bad decks with it.
I mean, people played some combo decks with it before, but in those decks, there were always substantially more egregious cards involved, so we just ended up doing things there.
Mm-hmm.
But
granted, I still think there's some egregious stuff happening here, but... Alright. Hey, McGuffin, what's up?
Rosalie, that's an entirely reasonable thing, and if you just do a league ping and specify you want to just play against people who want to voice chat, then some subset of the league people will probably do so.
All right, yeah, McGuff, congratulations. That was a very convincing set.
Yeah. Yeah, I kept a pretty crazy hand that last game.
Yeah, especially compared to the hand that Ash had, which was just kind of nothing. It seemed like you were pretty much destined to win, and then, well, the fact that you were able to proof yourself against every single form of interaction was, I think, obscene.
I Yeah, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, you tuned this deck to the point where we had to beat the hell out of it as the council. But I think that you just proved exactly why. It was well piloted. I think just watching the fact that there was literally no line for Ash was pretty impressive. Do you know what you're gonna champion? Any ideas?
I was thinking about this a couple days ago. It's kind of funny because a lot of the really powerful cards in the deck are already championed, like
Yeah.
Egg of Avarice and Autumnal Watch. I was thinking probably Tide Hollow Lich.
Yeah, Tidal Hole Lich feels like the thing that's unique about this deck.
Agreed.
That isn't already championed. Either that or Vault Keeper. But if you want a card that people will play in other shells, I think Tide Hole Lich or Impotent Mother are the ways to go.
Impotent Mother would be a cool card to champion, but it honestly didn't do very much in the deck.
That's really funny.
Yeah, it is.
Because that's one of the more powerful, one of the more powerful sack outlets in the format.
Yeah, I mean, Autumnal Watch got there 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Impotent Mother was just for like the fair backup plan of counting to 20 with my recurable dorks.
Hey, McGuffin, someone in chat asks how you managed to have such a good deck despite having Dodger help you tune it.
So basically, I pretty much ignored everything he said and did what Pip told me to do.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, see? That's the winning strategy. Look at how many decks Dodger got into the top 8. Look how many decks I got into the top 8.
Yeah, but then look at how many decks you won with, and that's the...
That's true. Yeah, Dodger didn't even top 8 this month. He's basically washed.
Yeah, that's true. Pipsqueak is just good enough to not win the Grand Prix.
That's always been my secret.
Just good enough to lose to the broken combo deck.
Yeah, I'm pretty sad.
4 times I've got into top 8, I've lost the person who won the GP.
That is rough. Well, this does somewhat vindicate my round 1 loss to you, McGuffin.
Fair enough. I'm pretty sad to see this deck go. I think this is probably one of my favorite decks I've built in MSEM, but it's definitely isn't a deck that should stick around. It's got pretty consistent turn 3 kills and just really, really resilient.
Yeah, I think the fair backup plan of this deck is one of the most terrifying parts of it, where people, I think, generally overstate how often combo decks have good fair backup plans. Like, people all the time say, like, oh, and this deck has, like, this mediocre, like, this deck has, like, this secret backup plan of hitting people with creatures. But frequently those creatures are, like, 2 mana, 1 power creatures. But your deck is all, like, 1 mana, 2 power creatures that are recursive, or, like, generate value, or both.
Or
that's,
Goliath.
That's harder. Yeah, or Goliath. Having the 1-up Goliath in the main deck is kind of great.
That was something I think El Makino suggested to me.
I think that the 1-of Goliath in the main board was a huge mistake, and you should never have played it against me.
Yeah, I don't know. The card's kind of bad. And if you play it turn 1, it just dies.
Yeah, right? Terrible magic card.
So true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any questions for you. I think that was just a clinic on how to pilot the deck. The deck doesn't exist anymore after this Grand Prix.
Yeah.
So this is a good swan song for Miners Barracks, and I guess just congratulations. Any inclinations on what you're bringing to the next GP?
Probably something kind of similar. I've been brewing and tuning various Aristocrats lists. And I got another Aristocrats combo list lined up for next month.
It's exciting.
What was it that you said, Pip? We hope no one joins the channel and trolls us.
Yeah, that was one of the things I said.
Well, that's just the way it goes. Yeah, I've played against your black-green aristocrats list, and it's pretty cool. So I wouldn't be surprised if that puts up some good showings in the future, because it doesn't lose that much.
We're getting a couple new aristocrats tools in New Horizons.
Yeah. Hey, Rosalie in chat says, I need to get back into MSEM so I can show off my mono red land destruction deck. Can we preemptively ban someone from joining events, Pip? Is that something we have the ability to do?
Look, it is May Madness. If you want to go through every mono red card that reads target something land, I think very few people could hold you accountable.
That's true. That's a nice shout out to when Dodger just built a bad Ponza list to troll me in League and then beat me because I drew terribly in Game 3.
Yeah.
I was the second victim of that deck.
It felt so bad.
I ended up playing a mediocre Jeskai Script Kitty brew, and then immediately matched up against Dodger, and Dodger started off that match by saying, I'm so sorry this was to troll Egg, but now I'm stuck on this run, and I lost horribly. It was awful. All of my basics and all of my non-basics were destroyed.
Yo, that deck was OP. Shut the fuck up.
That deck is illegal.
Know your place, trash.
I don't even remember what I was playing. I just remember it feeling like garbage to lose. It's okay. It'll never be as bad as the black-red Ponza.
I think I'm gonna have to hop off of you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm about to shut down the stream anyway. I gotta go eat, but congratulations.
Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Alright, well, set's over. GP's over. Pip's out. So thanks everyone for watching. And I'm going to shamelessly plug for anyone still watching. If you could follow this channel so that I can hit 50 and people can actually choose what quality to stream at, that would help me because a lot of people can't watch the stream at the quality that I can stream at. And that's the only thing that I have left to become an affiliate. But thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys at the next GP.